Welcome back to the Whaley Podcast. I believe this is the 13th podcast that we're doing, and we're actually a day late. We've been doing these a week early, and we were actually supposed to release this episode that we're recording right now earlier today.
Yeah.
So we've been very, very, very slow on the uptake with these things. And we thought we've committed to doing it, so we're going to do it. Even if it's a day late, we're just going to make sure we get it done. So actually we'll be recording the next episode tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're getting backlogged, and we enjoy doing elements of them, but it's not all fun. I think a lot of people who are doing videos and things, they make it hi,
Energy.
and it's not always. Most of it's not that.
Why don't you think it's fun? Because you see that external, what you watch, but then behind the scenes, you think it's not fun.
You get more likes and subscribes and comments and see, immediately in my mind I think I'm going to put a little comment thing, a little subscribe button and all the rest, because you're promoting some sort of positivity. People prefer to watch that, which is really good relationship advice. Don't always start up with negatives and all of that.
Yeah.
But so I enjoy the technical side of things.
Yeah, you do.
Jaden's enjoying like the creative, like production. Directive type of things, and some of the Whaleys have enjoyed the talking side of things, but
not me.
I think Esther really enjoys the talking side of things.
Yes.
So she should be doing some more talking. But it's not all fun and games. Like, you can see why there's a team that does production sort of stuff. Because even though we're just a mom and pop type shop, we're just starting from scratch. We don't know what we're doing. It's you can see there's probably like 8 different elements to this that require completely different skill sets to be able to get it done.
Well, I remember Jaden saying for the one podcast he spent, was it 24 hours at least? Like full 24 hours.
Yeah.
And he was just saying how so much time just goes into the editing.
Yeah. Well, it's a big part of it. It's probably like 3 to 1, 5 to 1. So for every hour that you're watching, 3 or 5 hours has gone into the editing side of things, the production side of things. So we've just set up. I'm actually sweating. It's taken us half an hour to set up.
Yeah,
it's just one camera and a couple of lights.
We're in our lounge, so lounge/kitchen. So we had to rearrange everything.
Yeah, to try and make it semi-recordable. So.
And we got Sammy upstairs sleeping.
So if you hear a wah and then you see a cut, that's because Bonnie's running upstairs to go sort them out. Yeah, but I think you've just asked me if I got anything. I don't really have anything to talk about, except this afternoon I was thinking, I haven't told you this, so this would be good insight into how Sean and Bonnie operate. I talked to different people today about different things, problem solved and made some decisions. Actually had 2 different meetings regarding potentially quite big problems that we had to sort out today. And I also came up with a new business idea, which I'll share now because it doesn't matter if someone steals it. It's a great idea, but it's not for profit. So no one will be able to do it as well as I can do it.
Got the patent?
No. It's, ideas are free. Ideas cost nothing. They mean nothing. The execution is everything. And then another idea which I can't tell people about, but I've been thinking about for about 2 weeks. It's an import idea.
Oh yeah.
And I have been frustrated with that idea because other people have not been excited about it as I have. They haven't done their homework. They haven't followed up. And so there's a possibility I might just go ahead with the idea without them.
Okay.
If they're not keen. I'm going to wait for them to not be keen.
Yeah.
But I've found another avenue to be able to get that done.
Good.
And that could be really fun.
And
really,
this is
really
an
fun.
idea
that
I'm not saying any details. It's been a long time.
No, that's another idea. I'm talking about 2 new ideas. You don't even.
Oh, okay.
So the idea I can talk about was we're seeing little Sammy grow up, and he's getting more and more interested in things, and he's enjoying things, and he's looking at boxes and how they work, and he's opening doors, and he's realizing his fingers move and that they're his fingers, and they connect to his toes. It's quite amazing to watch. But I've always been someone who's hated parents who buy their kids lots of not hate is a strong thing, but I've disliked
Despised.
buying kids lots and lots of stuff, because I just think they store it up and then their lounge becomes a playroom, which our lounge is becoming a playroom. And I made a big IKEA order today for thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I added stuff to your order.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I hate that just hoard mentality, and then you're just spoiling kids and they don't need the stuff. They don't even play with it.
Yeah.
But as I'm watching Sammy grow, he's 8 months now, he is becoming entertained, and it's not just entertainment, he's actually learning. He's literally grasping things and learning things. And so he'll get bored with the little toy, toy fish. Okay, there's nothing new to learn from it. And so I'm starting to see the value of the educational element and that fresh element. So maybe I'm being too soft. This is not my default. But maybe parents are buying stuff because their kids need constant education. So they need to learn things. And so they get bored of the old thing, but they don't get rid of it. So here's the idea. Toy cupboard. People buy toys for their kids. When they get bored of them, they donate them to this place. This place, so that's how we get the toys. This place has a box of toys. Let's say 4 toys. That's what I say to Sammy. I need to love 4 toys. Or whatever. There's a certain amount of toys in a little box. It's sanitized, it's clean, the quality's good. There's no bits that kids can choke on. Vetted, all the rest. You get a box of toys. Mom comes in. She's on a subscription model. So she comes in this week. I think we do it weekly because kids need constant rotation, entertainment, difference, or whatever frequency they want. Maybe we can hash out what works best. They come in, they get their box of toys, they return their old box. And the old box obviously gets processed, gets cleaned, gets checked, all the rest, and they get the new box home for their kid. They may only go through a 6-month process of the kid needing constant toys, but they don't have to buy new toys and then waste that.
That's good.
We're in a sense recycling that value for potentially years.
Very good.
For those sort of toys. And then Jaden had an idea, well, we could always use affiliate links or sell toys or all the rest of the back of that from a business end. But we can do that, absolutely. It could feed into other education things we do. But the essence of it would be, if you don't have a lot of money, this would be a very cheap way to get toys for your kids, and fresh toys, new toys, different toys all the time. It's educational for the kids. Then all the profits go to Mother's Choice or some charity or something in Hong Kong. Okay. So it's a non-for-profit. That's why I don't mind sharing it before we've actually done homework and research and played and experimented. Because if someone else can do it better than me, which I doubt, but if someone else could do it better than me, then they're welcome to give it a go. And in the town that we live in, Sai Kung, I think it'll be a phenomenal. Like, so many people have so much money, and there's also people who don't have money, don't have resources.
It's a mixture.
And so it could be a great little outlet to bless people in the community. Also for others who have a lot and want to bless, it could be an easy thing, rather than things going to landfill or trying to make $50 on Psycho Marketplace.
Yeah, love it.
And then Jaden also said, hey, this could be someone's job. What about a mother who's low income or no income?
Yeah,
and she could come in and sanitize things or sell things or restock or whatever. So there's a lot of little avenues that could, and I say little, it could be big. That little model could work.
I love it. I think it would be very popular.
I think so.
Because I'm in a mother's WhatsApp group, a whole bunch of mothers from Sai Kung, our town, and if not daily, people are like, here, I've got this toy, does anyone want it? And they're all circling these toys. Yeah. And I'm actually getting one of them tomorrow for Sammy. But it's like this constant
rotation,
shuffling around.
And see, those mums. It's so late, it's almost the next day. Those mums don't necessarily know each other. They might know someone in the group or whatever, but they don't know each other fully. And so it is a rotation of that stuff.
I love it.
So the other element is, because we have educational companies and centres and locations in town, it also helps us. Like, it's not just charity, it's not just helping moms, it also is a business venture. Although it's not going to make monetary difference immediately, there might be knock-on effects. So it's like a win-win-win.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely sign up to come on a weekly.
Oh, you're such a consumer. I thought you were going to say, I definitely want to run that.
Well, I would want to run that. That was when you said a mum could run. I was like, yay! Then you said a low income mum. Well, I'm a low income.
You're a no income mum.
No income mum. Yeah, I could get those toys rotating.
I said to Seamus today, we've been discussing some of the playgroup stuff. And he's had inquiries recently. I said, Seamus, just remember in a couple of years, maybe a year, Bonnie will be in that zone again where Sammy will be needing that.
I've been thinking of that just this week. I even said it to a mum. I think last week I used to run a playgroup because she was saying she needs playgroups. And I've been thinking about that. I know I can't do it right now, but potentially
6
soon.
months, a year, year and a
Yeah,
half.
because Sammy's going to need it, and then we'll take it up to each level for him.
Yeah.
You know, how you had with the school. You're going to start with kindy, then you go up to each level.
Yeah.
Fun.
So good creativity.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You just came up with it just because of Sammy.
Well, I think this is the thing that entrepreneur outsiders don't understand, is that these ideas are not far off ideas. They're not highfalutin, like amazing, clever rocket science ideas. Even the rocket scientist ideas, it's well within their wheelhouse. It's like, oh, we're going to put this with this. Now, it might be nuclear physics that they're playing with, but it's still something within their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And so whatever your hands are on, whatever you can touch, whatever's right there is where you start. And so if you're playing with kids, there's going to be ideas that solve problems for kids.
Yeah.
And why can't that idea make lots and lots of money and lots of impact and revolutionize markets? Why can't that happen?
Sorry.
Why are you laughing?
You just made me laugh.
Why?
Sorry.
Why?
I think I'm overtired. Everything's funny. Yeah, I think that's great.
So, I'm dreaming again. The last couple of years,
Good.
I've been locked.
I mean, dead.
I felt dead. I have felt dead.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been playing in my zone.
No.
I've been playing in the zone that's needed, but it's not my zone.
Yeah.
So, been consistent, I've been reliable, I've been faithful, but I've been dying.
Yeah, you have.
And I don't begrudge any of that, because sometimes you need to go through those times, even though they may not benefit you directly. They do benefit you to be that sort of person.
Yeah.
But I've turned off that tap on purpose. I knew I was turning it off, and I didn't turn it off as a victim, but I knew that I couldn't do what I wanted to do for a time, because we needed to get through some stuff, figure out some systems, let people catch up to some of the things that we had pioneered, so that we could dream again and play again and explore again and fail again without people getting upset that I'm failing.
Yeah. But also you had to get your businesses to a point where they could be sustained without you.
Yeah.
You know, so you could have that flexibility to do what you passionate about, which is building businesses and being
teams. I
entrepreneurial.
love teams.
Yeah. It's been a long time since you've been dreaming.
Yeah. Well, I've been dreaming for a little bit.
A little bit.
Last 6 months.
Yeah, like 6 months. But you can see that spark coming back. Like
It's
we'll be at the office and it'll be late at night and Sean just comes alive with an idea and we're like, okay. And Sean's just like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And that's so good. That's who you are. So it's great to hear.
I think I told you. No, maybe I didn't tell you. I was telling some other people.
Probably not. I'm not the last one to hear anything.
No, you're the last one I see in the day. When I was 16 and working in the pizza shop, Rocco's Pizza, shout out to Rocco's. I was telling the guy who owned the shop, I was saying, this town is growing, and it's big enough for a second fast food, cheap fast food. We were making pizzas. That's all we did. It wasn't fancy. And I said, as a 16-year-old, I said, it's getting bigger. You're going to have someone open up as competition. It's just big enough for that to happen. And you're going to lose business. And within 6 months, a year, that's exactly what happened. Little Turkish place opened down the road. And we lost business because of that. And they do pizzas as well as some other things. And I said to the manager, to the owner, I was a manager at 17, and I said to him, "You've got to open up another shop. Be your own competition. Like, make sure you saturate the market with you, not with other people." And recently, I was reminded of that, even though that hasn't been on my mind for years, 20 years, because I'm seeing all these apps come up, and I'm seeing all the websites come up for ideas that I've had 10 years ago, 6 years ago. And I wasn't far off the ability. I wasn't far off at all. I could have done it. I just didn't have the time or the resources, like energy resources. I had the resources to do these ideas, and now I'm seeing them come up, and even some ideas that are competitors to some of the things we're doing. And I said to you, we need to be our own competitor in this market.
Yeah, you did.
And so I'm kicking myself for not taking advantage of those ideas and those opportunities when they came. I just don't want to be in another 20 years' time saying, I had that idea. I'm wanting to kick into action. So even logistics, I'm getting ideas for same-day delivery. I don't want to wait one day for my delivery.
It's good.
And so when I can see when I tell people that, they're looking and they're going, why are you...
Like, really?
Why change it? It's already working next day. And I'm like, someone else is going to do it, and then you're playing catch-up.
Yeah.
No, why don't you serve the client better? That's the whole ethos, is serve the client better. Serve.
But I mean, we've had people call us and say, please, can I get this product this afternoon? Or something. And sometimes in that system, it wasn't technically possible. Now there's a lot more avenues. You can call Uber, you can get in the taxi yourself. You know, there's ways. But having...
I hate that. Oh, it's not possible.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I know.
There are obviously realities that are not possible. But that whole thing, we can't. I just want to throttle people. That's not right. You serve the client.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that become possible. The other element is I paid in 2012, I paid a lot of money for someone to build an app. Want to develop an app?
Good. Thanks, Glooty. Anything else? Do you want to develop an app?
And I worked so hard. They told me it would take 2 months, and I worked with them almost on a daily basis to develop this systems app. They were supposed to do admin and accounts and all the rest. It was very, very straightforward. It wasn't complicated. 2 months later, these guys hadn't delivered, and 2 years later, they hadn't delivered.
I can't believe you waited that long.
We worked so hard. Katie and I worked hard on this thing. Anyway, they didn't deliver, and so we had to just scrap it. I just couldn't work with them anymore because they weren't delivering. They were just trying to sign off on the project, pushing us for money, and they hadn't delivered what we'd laid out from the beginning. But in 2016, 2017, because I'm not a programmer, I'm not a coder, but the technology came to a point where my simple amount of coding that I knew, I could build apps using these spreadsheets because I was good at spreadsheets and all this other stuff. I could sort of hack my way through it. And I built the app, and it's beautiful. It still works to today, and it plugs into the accounting and all the rest. It does exactly what we wanted. But sometimes you got to wait for the market to catch up to where you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to develop your knowledge so that you can work in an old market. But I'm dreaming again. I want to do some stuff. I think there's something in logistics.
Yeah.
Shifting stuff can make so much money, and I know that's the wrong thing to say in this time of the pandemic because so many people are shutting down. Today there was an announcement that something like 30%, don't quote me on the figure, but something like 30% of the Cathay Pacific jobs are being cut. It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And so these guys who have had really safe careers, comfortable lifestyles, I mean, they work hard, but if you become a pilot, you get, like, it's a pretty secure thing.
Yeah, it is.
People are saying it's not secure at all.
Yeah.
I mean, 30% have lost jobs.
I saw one lady that I know, like, put a Facebook post. She hopes her husband keeps his job because he's a pilot. And, I mean, he's an older man. Like, if he got fired, what can he do? You know?
It's tough.
Yeesh.
It's tough. So, it really shows you where do you put your security, where do you put your trust.
Yeah.
Because you can't put it in an economy, you can't put it in the government, you can't put it in money. Because money could just disappear. It could be devalued tomorrow.
Could.
You know, there's a lot of stories of people just losing pensions. And so wherever you put your trust is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds crazy at this point in time to talk about logistics. But Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy. And be greedy when others are fearful.
Love that.
And so there's a chaotic market at the moment. There's waves that are going up and down. I think this is the greatest opportunity for those who are looking for opportunity, and also it's the greatest time of fear for those in fear.
That's right.
So some of these pilots are highly educated, very bright people,
They are,
hard-working people. I mean, they've got good work ethic.
Yeah.
They sacrifice so much of their lives to get certain things done, to fly planes, and those exams are tough. There's some high-level maths for some of that stuff, and so these guys have got ability, and so if they apply themselves and they see opportunities, even if they have to shift locations and all the rest, there are opportunities for those sort of internally secure type people. But I'm sure there'll be some casualties too, where they go, oh, I lost my job, and then 20 years later they're still going to be complaining about it.
Yeah.
So we've lost businesses and we've lost opportunities.
Yeah, we have.
And some of those things have been overturned and become of greater benefit because we're willing to shift.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, we shut down a school in the beginning of the Rona. As soon as it was announced, we were like, oh, let's reassess this. We made the decision in the conversation, shutting this down.
And that's
it's really helped us.
that you saw growing, and you're putting, the team are putting in a lot of effort.
And getting results.
And then when it gets to that point, it's like, okay, shut down.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's devastating in a sense.
It didn't devastate us.
It didn't.
So I'm not saying we haven't been devastated, but there's got to be an opportunistic mindset that doesn't succumb to the chaos but rides above it and uses it to propel them forward. I know that sounds like a cliche or some sort of cheap inspiration thing that some cheap guru that wants to sell you a book would say, but it really is true. You can make the most of a situation.
That's right.
So those cliches are like, when life hands you lemons, squeeze out a smile. There is something to be said for making the best of a situation.
Just try and smile. But with you dreaming again, what is going to...
Tell him he's dreaming.
Dad, 450. For jousting sticks, tell him he's dreaming.
Dreaming, mate. Straight to the pool room. All you Aussies out there. What's going to be the difference? Because now you're dreaming again, you're going to implement. What's going to be the difference? Because back then, you didn't.
What?
Back then you had all these dreams and you wanted to start businesses, but you had to hold off.
I did start businesses.
No, and you did. You started 8 or more.
Failed most of them.
But there were other ideas that you wanted to do and you just didn't. I know you're saying that you had to focus and you just had to hold off. But now, what's going to be the difference that you now go and pursue it?
Now I understand that not everything that I see in my little context, in my little world, it's a very small world, but not everything that I see is recognized by others. And so when I ask for feedback and I bounce ideas around, I now see that often the negative feedback is not because it's a bad idea, it's because they just don't see what I see, and I've done a poor job in communicating that. So that's why I referenced the thing when I was 16 and I saw the opportunity, and 6 months to a year later, what I said happened, but by someone else's hand. I wasn't confident enough to say to the owner, let's double down on this. This is really happening. Let me take some. I had nothing to risk. I'm 16, but if I had resources behind me, I should have started that second shop. But I didn't have that confidence, and so I thought he was right, even though he was wrong.
Okay.
The 16-year-old with the guy 3 times his age. Yeah. The 16-year-old was right.
Yeah, he was.
I was wrong probably another 99 out of 100 times, but for that thing I was right.
Yeah.
And so I was right when the very simple idea of importing products from South Africa to come to Hong Kong. I was right with that idea. It's a good idea. Now, because of the Rona and we've had supply side problems, all these little shops have popped up to try and fulfill what we couldn't fulfill for a time.
Yeah.
That's all opening up. And I was saying 6 years ago, we need to be our own competition. We need to have our own competitive shop. So I'm seeing all of this, and so when I launch an idea, just the idea, and I say, hey guys, what do you think? And people go, well, I'm not sure. And I'm like, it's not because it's a bad idea, always. Sometimes it is.
Yes.
It's just because the market often is not educated to the point that you can see. So Amazon, one of the biggest companies on the planet, started something that was ridiculous. started selling books online. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. Why would you sell books online? People go to libraries for books. You can get them for free.
Right.
And yet it's become the biggest business. That guy,
huge.
as much as I don't like him, he saw something that no one else saw. So the difference is now I'm getting a confidence and an internal security that says, thank you for your feedback, but no thank you.
Yeah, you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, and I will fail, and I have failed, and,
Yeah,
and
that's part of it.
But that's fine because I have a security that can handle
Yeah.
that failure. I
Yeah.
just don't think it's good enough anymore for me in my position to use the excuse that so-and-so said. So, well, they didn't think, or this person didn't think. It's not good enough anymore. Yeah, so I need to learn how to develop teams better so that I can carry out those ideas better. Because I think at a small scale, you can be the street sweeper. You can put the sign up. You can get the, like, when we first started at English Centre, we were up till 3 a.m. designing. I didn't have Photoshop skills.
Yeah, you did a pamphlet.
Did a pamphlet till 3 a.m. I didn't know what a trifold pamphlet was, and so I'm reading up and
Yeah.
I was up just trying to get this thing done. It was bad.
Not that bad. At least we had something.
We had something. We didn't know how to market well. We had so little furniture. If you look back at some of those photos, the whole centre was so bare.
It was.
But we thought we were kings because it was a blank shell when we started.
Yeah, we were so excited. Like, we're open, come and
So
join us.
we started with a couch from the lapsap, from the rubbish dump.
Yeah.
People give away stuff in Hong Kong at certain times of the year. So we picked up a free couch and we had we took our own lounge table in.
Yeah.
We had some free chairs that were given to us from the previous tenant, which were plastic. Probably 30 Hong Kong dollars a chair.
Yeah.
But for us, it
Cheap.
was like, we got chairs.
Yeah.
So when you're at a
Yeah.
small scale, you can do everything yourself.
Yes.
But when we moved into our recent location, which was 10 times bigger than the previous location we had, we couldn't just do well, actually we did. We did everything ourselves.
Initially, and nearly killed yourselves.
But the whole family, like my dad was in there 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
Jaden and I were in there a lot. Seamus was in a lot. My mom was manning the stations in the office.
Yeah,
You were jumping on board and helping with that. And so we were so stretched and so exhausted from that process. In the first location, it took us a couple hours to put the whole thing together. It was bad, but it took us only a couple hours. In the second location, it took us 2 solid months just to paint. It took us a day with 4 of us just to paint the roof to water seal it.
Yeah.
And so the bigger
It was
you
a big
get,
job.
you can't just stay up till 3 a.m. and get it done.
No.
You've got to build teams, and you've got to build systems, you've got to build dynamics that can capacitate that larger scale so that you don't break.
Yes.
So I think
Yes.
I'm getting better at that, I think. I'm not sure. I'm getting better at resting. So I'm also getting better at building teams. So we will get those new ideas I want to put through teams. I don't want to just grind it out myself.
Yeah.
And then I want to play with the teams whilst they do the work.
Yeah.
Which is the next level. For years I've been talking about building at level 1. And we can build 20 level 1 businesses. Or we can build 3 level 10 businesses. Let's be truthful, level 3 businesses. And the effort to go from one level to the second level is so much more than just to build another level 1 business. I can open up 5 websites. I'm not even exaggerating. I could open up 5 websites selling 5 different sets of products to different markets. Right now, I know how to build a Shopify, Squarespace. I don't even know how to use IG. I promise you I can figure out an IG website tonight, a store. It's not. That's not easy. That's not difficult for me. But to build a team is so much more difficult than putting out some face of a website. So that's what we're going to develop. So that is my next goal, is we want to play with these business ideas, but we want to play through others.
People.
And then they're coming up because they're learning a skill, they're learning mindset. So I chatted with people today about mindsets and culture and ideas, and so that's becoming more. So today I chatted in the office. I chatted for 7 hours, 8 hours. I just talked. That's all I did. I sat there and talked and talked and talked. And it wasn't like scheduled appointments or like 30 minutes now. It was just free conversation.
That's good.
That's my job now.
That's what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Envisioning people, getting them to see what you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you did with me with the essay shop. You gave me that value for customer service, and I mean, I was using crappy cardboard boxes, and Sean hammered me down and said, you can't use that, and he talked about the customer receiving it and the experience that they have. And so I learned a lot from you through that business.
You had no choice.
Well, I could have run away.
Yeah, you could have run away.
But I loved it. Hopefully one day I can lead it again.
I'm not sure.
I'll triple it again.
Yeah, so we got to play with that, and so it's me just getting confident in who I am.
Yeah.
And be secure in that, and understanding that not everyone will agree with me, and getting more secure in that. I know that everybody knows that. Everyone will nod their head and go, yeah. But it's a different thing when you actually have to do the thing, and people are actually looking at you going, I don't agree with you, you're an idiot. That's a different thing. You have to face those holes in your own self. It's a hard thing.
So how do you do that? How do you, when someone's disagreeing with you and you know this is the right thing?
Well, your question has the answer in it. You got to know it's the right thing.
Okay.
If you are uncertain about the right thing, or you've got holes in that, then you won't be able to stand up to the notice or the criticism or the whatever.
Yeah.
If you know it's the right thing, then you got to be prepared to lose whatever it is people are dangling in front of you that you're going to lose this. You'll lose my respect. You'll lose the money. You'll lose the kids.
Yeah.
You'll lose you got to be prepared to lose that,
Right.
because you know this is the right thing. So
scary. It can be.
Yeah, so some people learn that trick, because when you have a confidence that you stand up to something, that others generally, because of your confidence, they'll back down. They learn that as a facade. They learn that as a trick, and so they become bullies.
Yeah.
And so if they speak loud enough, or they straighten up hard enough, or they tower over someone else, that someone else will then back down, because the other person's maybe not sure that it's the right thing. And if this guy's so sure, maybe I'm wrong.
Yes.
Which I've been that person most of my life. I'm very good at saying sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very good at backing off. I don't need to fight battles. I don't need to prove myself or whatever. So I'm very good at saying, yes, sir. Yeah, no problem. He's got the bad attitude. He's completely wrong, and I'll just apologize and back off.
Yeah.
And so the problem is with that tactic, when you learn it as a tactic and it's not a truth, is that when finally the situation or someone challenges you and calls you on your bluff, it is devastating. And you can see people crumble, and then they get very angry, and they go through the roof, and they become suicidal. Maybe not suicidal, but they become...
fall apart.
They'll just lose the situation or whatever. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about bully boy tactics. I'm talking about internal confidence. That when you know it's the right thing, in a humble way, not an arrogant way, it's just internal confidence.
Yeah.
And you go, I know there's a reaction, or I know this thing's happening, but I still believe this is right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's some tips and tricks that others have, but I'm not stepping up into that confidence in certain areas by some book's knowledge or some outside advice. I'm doing this from an internal truth that I've stumbled upon. I hit my head against the wrong thing for so many years that now I'm stepping up into this. I'm going, oh, this is right. And so I don't have all these external strategies. I just know, like I'm realizing, just with the business thing, I'm realizing I was right. I was right 6 years ago. Yeah. And when I told people, they were like, no, it's not going to work. Yeah, sure. Yeah, are you sure? Perhaps that was the qualification. Perhaps that was the test of whether I really believed it. And perhaps I deserve, in a positive way, not getting the result that I thought I should have got, because I didn't have the confidence. But I think I have the confidence now. I think it's such a contradiction.
I think.
It's a completely different realm that I'm in.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, I think you've learned a lot along the way, and kicked yourself enough.
Failed more than enough.
And now you frustrated in a good way that you gotta just do this now.
I'm not frustrated now. I was frustrated when I was dying because I wasn't dreaming and I wasn't playing. But now the idea of not carrying the idea forward and not playing with it and not stepping into, that is frustrating.
Yeah.
That's like, if you see me backing off from some of these things, you know I've given up on life. I'll keep on existing, I'll just die on a deathbed somewhere, but you know I've given up.
When you're in that state, it's terrible. Because, it frustrates me. I'm like, come on, you can do it.
So
it's good that you're alive.
So that's enough about me. What have you been doing?
I've been doing a special diet because I have a stomach thing called endometriosis. And
it's not a stomach thing, it's a woman's thing.
It's a woman's thing. Go and Google it. I won't get into all the details of it.
Links in description. Buy the merch.
Pictures, videos. No. So I've struggled with the pain of that on and off for years. Had the operations.
Over 8 years?
Over 6.
7, 8 years?
Yeah, 7, 8 years. Not knowing what it is. We went and saw specialists, like top specialists in Hong Kong, doctors, you name it. We had all the scans, everything. I had one top gynecologist look into my eyes and say, you do not have endometriosis. And at that point I was pretty sure I did. And I said to him, are you sure? He's like, no, absolutely not, which is crazy. And then for some reason I ended up getting a hernia in my stomach. I think I pulled something or something. Went to a hernia doctor, and he said, I'm going to operate on you, and if you have endometriosis, I will clear it out for you. So I had the operation, come around crying under the anesthetic, and he said, you had endometriosis and I've got it out for you. And I was so angry at the other specialist. Thought, how could he be so sure? But anyway, we got it diagnosed. And so through the pregnancy, I was a lot better. But then in the last 2 months, it's been flaring up again. So I'm just trying different things to see what could help. And one of them is diet. And so on Monday, I started it's called an endo diet. So you're cutting out sugar, refined carbs, caffeine, and dairy. Those are all my 4 favorite things. So Monday, the whole day. I mean, you saw me.
So this is now Wednesday, so you're 3 days in.
Yeah, 3 days in. Monday, I had the biggest headache that I've had in a long time. And I'm like, gosh, I'm sure this is from the caffeine. So Sean's like, just have some coffee. I'm like, nope, because I can be a very stubborn person. I said, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. But I kept thinking of coffee. And I persisted, and the next day I woke up, it was like a dull headache. Then today, it's completely gone. And then in terms of the pain, each day's been getting a bit better. I mean, that's only 3 days. Yeah, slightly. But I've noticed the difference.
Placebo effect.
On the head. So that's what I'm doing.
Take the placebo.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm not enjoying it. I don't know why I said that. I'm not enjoying that I can't eat chocolate and that I can't have a coffee. I'm really not enjoying that. I actually bought decaf coffee and Oatly milk.
Did you?
So I've been having decaf teas, equivalent of milk.
So how long do you do this diet for?
I'm doing it for 21 days. Gonna see how I go.
Why do you pick that number?
I heard once, correct me if I'm wrong, that it takes 3 weeks to overcome a habit. I had a friend that had, she would always bite her nails. So she would put pepper and paint on her nails. So every time she went to bite, she would freak out. And it took her 3 weeks.
So you're doing it 3 weeks so you can overcome the habit of caffeine, sugar, milk, and something else.
Carbs. Yeah, I'm hoping to. My main thing is I want to just see a difference in the pain, and if it works, then I'll just keep going. You know, I might bring in the occasional treat, but if it's working for me and I'm not going to be in pain, then it's well worth it. Yeah.
And you've been doing... When we first got married, Bonnie was not knowledgeable on things she should have been knowledgeable about. So I would say, well, what about this? And she, I don't know. And then 2 weeks later, I'd be like, well, what have you learnt the thing yet? So now I've been very impressed. Now you're doing research and you're watching the YouTubes and you're Googling the thing and you'll get the book. Boy, I don't know about the book yet. We're not there yet. But
I don't need a book. I got Google.
It's true. It's quicker. And so you've been doing your research on this. You've been learning about it. I've learned some stuff watching over your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's very hard to diagnose. I have a little bit more sympathy for the doctors who misdiagnose you so many times. How many? I don't know, 7 doctors, 8 doctors.
You had more sympathy for the doctors or for me?
No, I got no sympathy for you. I've got judging you.
What? What did I do?
You're a dirty, dirty sinner.
What did I do wrong?
Everything.
Tell me, God.
So it's good for you to be educating yourself on this thing.
Yeah, it is. Also, I read today that when you exercise, it lowers your estrogen. And so this whole endometriosis is based on too much estrogen in your body. And that's what grows the little growths.
Is that why I have some endometriosis?
You do. Is
that why I have some?
You need to sort yourself out, Sean.
So you've been doing some exercise?
Yeah, I've been getting out for walks. I know it's nothing radical, but for me it is. Going from nothing to... I get the pram out and Sammy and Rufus, our little dog, and go for a walk. Just up the road in the bush. It's beautiful.
It's about 2Ks, 3Ks.
Yeah, it's lovely. And you can literally feel your body relaxing as you look to the mountain and the blue skies. Sorry for everyone at work. I'm loving my life. Yeah.
Good. And Sammy's growing strong. He's teething.
Yeah, he is. He's not sleeping so well, poor thing. But he's... When I buy him clothes, I'm buying him 6 months in advance clothes. Because he's getting so big, so strong.
Yeah, he's fun. It's really enjoyable watching him figure stuff out, figuring out where he is and what he is, and he's starting to mimic. So I'll grunt and then he'll grunt and then I'll change the pitch and he'll change the pitch. You can't quite match it, but he's getting there. There's a rough shape to it.
Yeah.
And just learning his little mannerisms and his little habits and what his thresholds are.
Yeah.
And like putting his arms up when he wants to be lifted up and those little things. It's fun to learn.
Very cute.
I'm sure all babies do all this stuff. I'm sure it's nothing new, but for us it's new to watch him do it. It's certainly new for him. So
today he was running around the lounge in his walker just screaming with excitement. Just
Oi.
going, yeah! All over the place. Very cute.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a little catch up of where we've been, what's been going on. It's very exciting times. I think for a lot of people, it's been very up and down. It's been very up and down. There's been no certainty. I mean, we had some kids in the centre crying. I mean, they were 16, 17 crying last week, just sobbing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Oh, no.
And it's just terrible. There's so much uncertainty. But I felt, I counseled the kid and, you know, Fiona and I helped him through and all the rest, and he was happy by the end. But I felt so naked in my ability to help him because our security is not based on this world. And so I had so little tools. It was all psychological and all mindset and all positivity, but he's not saved, and it wasn't appropriate for me to try and say something that would have just derailed the whole opportunity.
Yeah.
We'll get another opportunity another time. But there was so little. I realized we were so thin on all the best material that you can find out there with inspiration and motivation, all that stuff. It was so thin compared to the reality of where we live, which is with an eternal security, an anchor for our souls that goes beyond the veil. It goes beyond what everyone else has access to.
Yeah.
And it's just a scary, scary time if you don't have that.
It is.
So I'm excited. We've never been so profitable. We've never had so much money. We've never had so much opportunity. And it sounds almost wrong to say that, because if anyone's listening to this and they're going through a hard time or something bad is happening, it almost sounds ugly or disrespectful or not understanding the situation. But all of that good stuff that's happening in our lives is not coming from this world. It's from a higher reality that we're living by. And it's not that we're unaffected by this world. We're deeply affected. We are in this world.
Yeah.
But
you're not thinking as you're in this world.
No, we're sojourners. We're holiday makers through this experience that we might get for 50, 80 years.
Yeah.
This is not our home base.
Yeah.
This is what we're passing through. And so that security that comes from that other higher reality, I realized in talking to this kid and trying to pull him out of the deep depression that he was heading down. All the best psychology won't work. I mean, maybe it will work, but it doesn't. It's not where our reality comes from. That's just the simple truth of it. So I'm just very thankful that we're operating at a different level. Not because of us. It's actually despite us, that we're able to operate at that. And so if you're going through tough times or issues or Rona things or job things or relational things, you got to make sure you get your security from the right place. Don't put your security in the wrong place, because it's devastating. Yeah. And we've all been there. We've all done that. We've all had our security tested, and it's shocking sometimes.
It's like, I don't know if you want to share it, but it's like the pig story.
No, I don't want to share it.
Okay. Another time. That's a really good story.
The 3 little pigs.
What you took from it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Don't be the pig that...
Okay, shut up. Okay, on that note...
Telling all the secrets. We better go.
We'll see you... Someone will see you next week.
Yeah.
The Whaley Podcast out.
Bye.